There you all go. Y'all want to see her? There she is, 1929 Model A Tudor. That's a sedan, Tudor sedan. And we are running, not that it's the original motor or original motor. It is an original motor. It's an original flathead 4-cylinder. She purrs like a kitten, as you can see. It's just pretty much, it's gravity fed. Two-barrel carburetor. That's pretty much what I had to do to the car was right here when I purchased it. Everything else was done on the car. She's been restored. I'm going to assume restored. I don't think this is original. But I gotta get away. I'm too close. So anyway, so that's what you got. There's a historic plate on it. You can put the historic plates on them. That one's 1929 for the year of the car. And here is the other side. And I took y'all for a ride in her. So that's what you get. Let's see if I get the other side open for you. Looks better like that. I just had to fix this. The whole stem came off the top of the radiator. So I had to pull the whole front of the car apart and pretty much solder that back on. It's like sweating a pipe. I don't know what you can see in here. We are running a 6-volt alternator, and the generator kept blowing the battery off. And I had an issue with the drain plug on this thing. They're sweated in, they're soldered in back in the day. This one is no longer that way. It's welded in because I could not get it off. So I TIG welded that thing solid. Other than that, it is what it is. That's 4-cylinder, and we're a 3-speed. You know, we're a 3-speed. Your interior. All right, so that's what we got. We got a floaty gas gauge. So there's just a float inside when you fill it up out there. This is a light actually, but it gets so hot you can't touch it. To light up your speedometer, your odometer, and your trip. Now this is just alright, so you gotta turn the power on. All that does is cut the power to the coil out there. And then when the alternator is running, that actually moves. So your fuel shut off down here because it's gravity fed, so you gotta shut it off or it'll just all end up on the floor. Carburetor is much lower than the fuel tank, and this thingamajigger right here, as you can see, if I can mess with the mixture, here she runs. This is your choke, so you choke. And your emergency brake, of course, there's my shifter knob I made. Now I did put LED lights in this thing, so I have LED marker lights and I have turn signals. We almost got hit. They don't teach the, your arm up and out type thing for turning, and somebody almost creamed us from behind. And then we got these are your headlights, marker lights that they had back in the day. So you got a high beam, a low beam, and then off. And you got your Uga horn. And then this thing here, if you can tell, see how it's looking up? It's looking up there, so that you can see street lights, because you can't see anything. When you're at my level, this is what you see. So, and then actually, there's quite a bit of room back here. So here's your back seat, and underneath this seat is storage, because there isn't a whole lot of car here. You can reach every window crank. Yes, window crank. There's no buttons in this car. There's one fuse. Nothing is power. Everything is manual. So, but like I'm sitting here driver's seat, I can reach all of them. The doorknob, that one when they're closed, and this one from the driver's seat. Your window, you see it opens here in the front. Now this lets the air in and then down, it blows it down, because, you know, there's nothing but steel right there, so the exhaust pipe gets hot and heats that up. So it blows air in, and I think it might work the other way. I don't have heat in this car, but this does get warm, and the heat can rise up through here and defrost the windshield. They do have heat, but I don't have one. Everything was an option. Now I've got a wiper and it runs on a vacuum, but I don't have that hooked up currently. We don't drive her in the rain. What we will do is you put Windex on this thing. It works better than the wiper does anyways. You see how big it is. It's only 6 inches long, and all it does is smear things. It doesn't have much pressure out there. And what was I going to show you out here? Oh, that right there is the only fuse in the car. And yeah, we're on 22s. I think they're 22s. Back in the day, they're 22s. I believe they are. Let's see, what are we here? 21s. They're 21 inch. That's it. Overall, I think it's like 2,200 pounds. But that's her. Well, only because everybody asked, they wanted to see the car, so there she is. I purchased it from a friend of mine. From an estate sale. His grandfather passed and he didn't want it. I went to look at it because I thought we were going to be going to look at a rat rod. That wasn't happening to that car. So here I am. It's not really my style, but that's what we got. Now she is in lacquer. The paint is awful. You look at it, it smudges, but it's shiny when she's shiny. But like I said, you touch it and it's smudged. So pretty much all I really did. There's my LED. They fit right in the rail. There's a company that makes those. They're pretty expensive, but keeping me from getting rear-ended. There's the rear ones. And you can see them really well. Keeping you from getting rear-ended and ruining the car is worth that amount of money. You know, it's kind of a pain in the butt to wire in. This isn't conventional. It's positive to earth instead of, you know, ground to earth, or positive ground instead of negative ground. Yeah, it's all backwards. So, you know, it was pretty much all original how you would see it from the factory. I don't know what else to say about it. I've had it for, I don't know, 4 years now. And like I said, we did have to make it run. Now, when I got it home, we made it run in about an hour. We got the fuel lines cleaned out. We got some fuel running through. We had to make it run. It did run really well. It looks so much better from the other side. Let me shut this stuff here. The daylight coming from over there. Dang, yeah, that's pretty much it. Little brass. Those are your spark plug wires there. We got one coil wire, and that's it. This here was, I had a lot of problems, but what I had was a crack in this, and it was blowing on here, which is vapor locking the carburetor. And then got that figured out. This thing here was plugged up. There's a vent hole in it up underneath that lift. Well, it was vacuum locking it because it was plugged up and it wouldn't allow the fuel to run out. And I think that may have been a lot of the problems he was having. These are carburetor parts I got with the car. But that and the head was warped. He didn't re-torque down that head, which entailed the head warping, blowing the head gasket, which spit water on this that cracked it. It's a vicious circle. And it took a little bit to figure it all out and get it straightened out. But here we are. You know? And yes, my gold pen is copper. Or my oil pen is copper. I had copper paint after I welded on it and burned all the lacquer off of it. We went with that, and it's got a modern clear coat on it. So it's not supposed to be that color. I just made it that color. And then I also changed the water pump. This is supposed to have a rope gasket in it, and then you oil or grease it here and oil it or tighten that up to make it stop leaking. But every time you drive somewhere it would leak. then you run out of antifreeze, so we put a modern one in it that does not leak. It just looks like it's supposed to, that's all. After that, I don't know. I don't know what to say. We shined up all the chrome. Everything is rusty. It's set for 7 years or so. 8 years, maybe 10. I think it had 700 miles on the odometer when I got it, and we're at 6,085 right now. So I put, you know, roughly 5,300 miles on it. Oh yeah, here, so you know the basics. Clutch, brake, gas button. This here is supposed to be rest your foot on, but I can't do this tipping it on it like you're supposed to. I put mine in here and ride it. Up there's your starter. Push on that with the starter button. And then, if you can see this here, this is an extension that one of the car club members made for us long-legged people. Because if you see, let me move this over. This is, this here is where the original is. You see how far back that goes. So these are the originals. And us long-legged people have our knees around our ears when you sit in this little itty-bitty car. And I do have to add lead, so I have add additive. Or add additive, yeah. A lead additive so each one of these bottles is enough for 5 gallons of fuel. So we know what we can do. We can do about, 20 gallons worth, which I think will get you, I don't even remember. I think you get 200 miles to tank of gas on this thing, so it's a 10-gallon tank. And it is a bomb. It's right here in front of your face. So that's the gas tank. The whole dashboard is a gas tank. You can't buy that part, and I don't believe you can buy the oil pan. I'm not sure why on that. Most of them now, you'll see the gas tank will be back. It's mounted back here. Anything new, because you can't buy one unless you buy it from, you know, an original. You can't buy an aftermarket. How's that? I don't know what to say about it. Get on the other side. We've replaced the radiator. That's about it. Like I said, most anything I've done to this car was in the engine compartment. Everything else was pre-done. We shined her up. She was dirty. It probably had a half-inch of dust on it. There was a car cover on it that was half on it, and there's just a half-inch of dust on that thing. So, I mean, she does miss. What do you want? It's pretty much a tractor with an Amish buggy on it. You know, that's what it looks like. Yeah, so, I mean, here, I don't know how to flip this around. Can I flip it around? No. I don't know how to flip it around. Hang tight. Alright, so that's the best I can do. So, along with my car, we're going to stay foxy. Y'all have a nice week. One more thing. You see it way out there? Let's see if I can bring this in for you. That, right there. Oh, come on, hold still. That's the thermostat. As you can see, she's warm. So, that's how you tell if your car's overheating or not. Way out there on the end of the hood. It's like one of them old school thermostats you stick in your mouth. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Give her a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and we'll catch y'all on the flip side.